Hello, our wonderful viewers. Welcome to another episode on this page, Discover with Dioga. Today we visited this museum for the second time because the video we did the other time was not detailed. So today we came to do a more detailed video. So today, this is a real setting of Igbo tradition and culture. If you look around us, you see relics and things that belong to the ancient Igbo tradition. So today we are going to explain to you in full details on what we have here and their functionalities. As you can see, this is Oji. Now this is for native doctors. It is a staff for native doctors. It's not a common thing. You only see it in shrines and it is not handled by native doctor. And in front of me you can see Udu for collection of water in the olden days, although advancement has made these things not to be invoked anymore. Then here with me you can see Ikwe. This is Ikwe and Odo. Now this is mortar and pestle. It is used for pounding. If you check our previous video, we did a video about how to process palm oil. So this is what you need in the process of palm oil. And another thing that is very interesting here is this is Ete. Now I can actually show you how this thing is being used. It is used for climbing palm trees. Now if you can check the picture here, you can actually see when it is being in use. So this is the Ete. It is produced traditionally. If you look at the detailing here, all these things are rope. And this particular rope here is for reinforcement in case anything happens. But this particular one is a climber, a rope that is gotten from the bush. So, and with me you can find the Ihe. Now this is for making music. Ihe is a music making mechanism. If you look at the detailing, the inside is being scraped, and when you apply, you have a very fantastic sound, and it is used in summoning. Like I said in the previous video, you can use it to summon people for a gathering. And there's another one very similar to it, which is an Ikoro. They have almost the same functionalities, but Ikoro is a different thing. Ikoro is used for summoning when there is a crisis or war in a particular clan. So this is how the Ikoro looks like, and this is the Uhi. They are almost the same thing, but they have a different sound and they are used for different purposes. And now let's dive into the real thing. Come inside, you see actually the real thing here. If you take a very good look at this, is a fine setting. Like this is a fine traditional Igbo setting. You can see a lot of things that you might not even know what they are. So, but I'm going to take my time and explain to you to know what all these things we have here is. But trust me, it's actually going to be a long video. But I bet this is something you would like to watch. So let's start by explaining. What you see here is the masquerade wear. This is the masquerade wear. If you check the detailing, it's actually rope. It is made from a rope, but this thing is something that a craftsman, a real traditional Igbo craftsman can do. And another funny thing is that it has a sound. This is Ayo. This is traditionally made. This is the back of a wood. And the essence of this thing is when the masquerade is passing, it will make a noise, and you will know that a particular masquerade is passing. So in some Igbo traditions, some masquerades are not meant to be seen by children or youths that are not matured. So when you hear the sound, you know if it is a masquerade you need to come out and see or not. Also, we still have another masquerade here. This is another type of masquerade. It is another type of masquerade in Igbo culture. So like I always tell my viewers, Igbos have a very fine and sweet culture that you like. Then in front of me, you find another traditional music making system that is called Mbembala. This is actually, like, before you can actually make a sound, and it is for music, like it is for traditional music when there is festivals. And the one I have in my hand as well is Ayo. If you can hear the sound, when it is in the hands of a professional, it produces a better and a different sound. So we have another tradition and another thing for making music here. This is the ogene. Now the ogene is a metal gong. Look at it very well. It's a metal gong. When you hit it, it produces a fantastic sound. So like I always tell my people, like Igbos are very talented, and if you look at the craft they have been doing, you know that Igbos are an exceptional set of human beings. So if you look at here as well, we have the ute. Ute, this is mat. Although advancement has made people to modernize, but this is what the real mat is in the Igbo tradition. This is normal mat for lying down. Although the ancient Igbo tradition, you don't find mat anywhere. Mat is for people that have what it takes to buy mat. Those days, actually a very expensive thing. So you can use different varieties of mat and sizes as well. Then there is another interesting thing I would want to show you. This is a real Igbo man defense system. This is a machete. This is mma and obo. This is a real Igbo. Those days, like I actually said, those days, this thing is for protection. It's a weapon for either war or for farming purpose. But if you look at how the craft is, and if you look at the detailing, this is an animal skin. You look at it very well, although it's actually getting gold and it's wearing away, is an animal skin. And Igbos are talented. Now with me you can see this is eborede. This is a tray. If you look at it, it is made from raffia palm. If you check the detailing, this is for preservation and what have you. This is like a normal tray, but this is the ancient traditional one. And one sweet thing about this museum is that you don't find it everywhere, because most of these things they're showing you here has fizzled away. People don't use it these days, but because of this museum, it has been able to preserve some of these relics that people don't know about. And then this is obo. Now what is obo? Obo is a rope. It's a rope, but the thing is, this particular one are made from raffia palms. If you look at it, it's made from raffia palm. It is not the normal synthetic rope, but this is a traditional rope made from raffia palm. So what is the raffia palm? Let's show them what the raffia palm is. This is a palm tree, and when you process the palm front, you can actually get a lot of things from it. So that's why I said, maybe if you saw some of the previous video I did, I told my viewers that in a palm tree and palm nut, nothing is a waste. So this is actually a finished product from palm tree. Now if you look down here, you can find fantastic things that you don't know about. These things are abo. What is abo? Abo is like, how am I supposed to say? Okay, abo is actually for going, they use it to go to market those days. You can use it to carry things. These are like basin, modern day, these are ancient day basins. It is used for several purposes, for storage, for going to market, buying things, depending on the size. Because if you can look at this particular one and this one as well, they are the same thing but different sizes for different purposes. And these things are equen. This is an equen. Like I said initially, it is a mortar, and this is mortar. But the one I showed you initially is a different size, but they serve the same purposes. And then this is a traditional cup. Mpimaya is a traditional cup. It is being carved out from a seed from a tree, and those days it is used for drinking palm wine in the village gathering, and not everybody has access to it those days. Basically it was for traditional renowned persons in the village those days. And then this is the pistol, like, you know, for pounding. You apply, you pound whatever you want to pound. But these are real traditional Igbo things that you can find in Igbo traditions and culture. And here too, this is ayo for making music. When you ichaka, yeah, this is an ichaka for making music. If you assuming that it's still in good shape, when you make a sound, when it's in the hand of a professional and you make a sound, you understand what I'm telling you. All these things are things you don't find anywhere. And as well, these other ones as well are This is edegele. Now you tie on your leg, and when you make it makes sound. So they are actually for music making purposes, and you can see them in the traditional Igbo culture, and it's also used for festive seasons as well. And this thing is an autopsy. This is like a handcuff. Is a handcuff. So they are traditionally and locally made. But like I always tell you, like I told you initially, you can't find all these things anywhere. It is just in this museum. So I personally feel when we are done with this video, you're going to be liking a lot of it. Then I have another interesting thing. Like the previous video we made, we talked about roofing. This is an akereka. Now akereka is a zinc, but this is what we use those days when zincs are not in vogue. Now this particular, if you look at the detailing, how it's being produced, this thing is actually produced from a raffia palm as well, but this one is from a palm wine tree. These are the leaves, and it is detailed. You have the skeleton inside it and the detailing, and this is actually meant for roofing. You can use it and roof your house in the traditional days, and it has a very long lifespan those days, and it was serving a very nice purpose. So like I always tell you, Igbo people are very fantastic, and when you come down here, you see a lot of things. This is a stool. This is a stool. This is really a stool, and if you look at the craft, you know that Igbo people are a very fantastic set of human beings. And then if you look at here, these are Otammaya. If you look at it, even the names these are Otammaya Kabo, is a jar that has two hands. But I guess this is ceramics. Yeah, this is ceramics. But though in those days it's very expensive and it's just for preservation, and maybe you can actually find it in Palace of Kings and the rest of them. And when you look at here, these things are oko, a traditional kind of plate that is made from clay, and it's basically for eating. Then this is ekwigwe, a three pot stand for cooking. Those of you that are Igbos, you know what I'm talking about. But these days, I don't think people use it, or people still use it, but it's not as common as it used to be those days. And you have your knife, and you have oba. This oba is basically a seed from a tree, just that it is carved into this plate-like form, but it's used for storage. And this is this is actually a sponge for taking bath. So those days you put here and preserve, and this particular point is water outlet. And then we have other traditional things. You have other traditional things here. You can see this olaga. Olaga is a god in the Igbo ancient traditional culture. These things are found in shrine. If you look at here, you can find the face of a masquerade. You can find the face of a masquerade. You can find other gods. This is Agnes Swanye. These things are gods in the traditional Igbo system. Although these days we just keep it for actually going back to see what was in those days. But in the real traditional Igbo cultures, all the stuff you can find here are different types of chi, gods that the Igbo worship. Like I told you initially, you can't talk about Igbos. You can't talk about the Igbos without talking about belief system, relics of worship, and what have you. So all these things those days, you find them in the shrine. This one is Wanima, a kind of a deity. This one is Agnes Wanye, the deity, and these ones you can see here, and they masquerade. Another interesting thing is Ekpo. Ekpo is a mask. It's a mask, but in Igbo we call it Ekpo. If you look at it, it has a piercing. When it is on your face, you can actually see through it, but it's for masquerade those days. So this is a particular masquerade, but in the Igbo language, a mask is called an Ekpo. That is why, but Ekpo can serve different purposes. Most times it's mainly used for masquerade and what have you. So another one you can find here is Ojiono. Ojiono is a god that is attached to a masquerade, because there is a masquerade in Igbo that is called an Ojiono. So this is the particular god that is attached to an Ojiono. And This is Odwen. This thing are for traditional rulers. It is only you can only find it with tradition, like people that are traditionalists. It is just like a fashion style for them those days. They just hold it to go to occasions, and even recently, some Igbo traditionalists still make use of this thing today. But when you just see it, you know that this person is a titled person, and you have to respect them in the Igbo culture and tradition. So we have other things, other fine things. Now this is Oja. Most of you that are Igbos knows what I'm talking about. This is Oja. When you blow, it makes a sound, but you can only handle it when it's in the hand of a professional. And then this is Ikpo for smoking. You stuff in whatever you want to smoke here, and you light up and you smoke. So even in those days, Igbo man was actually having fun. And you have some different types of traditional made knives. These ones are traditional made knives in the Igbo culture. Like a lot of things are here. You can also find Oba. These ones are Oba and Nekbereke for these ones, like bowels those days to wash your hand and other things you can use them for in the Igbo tradition. And here is an Odwen. These are not doing okay. We can pull it out. Odwen. Then show them what I'm doing. This is an Odwen. This is for traditional rulers. Odwen is just for traditional rulers when it's being held, and that's just the functionality of it. And when you come here, you find other interesting things here. Now this is Efe. This is actually used for the processing of palm wine. It is used for tapping palm wine. Sorry, it is used for tapping palm wine. It's a kind of knife. It's traditionally made, but it is for palm wine tappers. Like, let's assume you want to tap a palm wine, you use it for palm wine tapping. Just show them the palm. Now, this is a palm wine tapping process. This is what it feels like to tap palm wine. So if you look at this particular person on a palm tree, this is how palm wine is being tapped, and you make use of this particular traditional knife that is called Efe. And also here you find another sound making system that is called Ekwe. Although these ones are for making music, they are the same thing with the ones I showed initially, but they are different sizes and they are for different purposes. But it's basically for summoning and music making. And this is an ozuribo, another metal gong. When you apply, it makes a sound. And here you have series of nkata, basket of different sizes for storage system and what have you. Now this one is an atuma. Now this atuma is actually gotten from a cow. This is a cow horn. It's a cow horn. But just that after killing the cow, you keep this thing for a while for the inside to decay. And when you tidy it up, it is used for traditional rulers to drink. And these ones are for fetching water, calabash. These ones are udu for different smaller sizes for fetching water. And also this particular plate is used for presentation of kola. Most of you that are Igbos, if you go to a traditional ruler's place, you can actually see this thing. This is actually for presenting kola in the real Igbo culture. And those days, Igbo man is a farmer and a hunter as well. So that is why a den gun is very important in the life of Igbo man. If you look at here, you can actually find a den gun. This is a den gun for hunting those days. So Igbo man is a farmer and a hunter. So there are other means of survival. Igbo man uses this for hunting purposes and self-protection. Okay. So, and here you have baskets, and not only that as well. Also, you can find this kind of hat that is made from raffia palm as well. This is for Okwa Shakara. Okwa Shakara is used when the sun is very excessive. So it is mainly for hunters, farmers, and palm wine tappers those days. And I mean, I feel a lot of things here, and we didn't show you this as well. We didn't show you this. This is a seat. This is a seat. If you look at the detailing, it is a seat. When you sit down in the Obriama like we did in the previous video, these are the kind of seats you find in the Obriama. You sit down and you relax. And another thing here is an apa. This is a bag, a real bag from a traditional Igbo man. These bags are mainly used for hunters and other things, but you find native doctors as well makes use of this thing basically those days. So I mean, so this museum is basically a real setting for Igbo traditions and culture. So if you look around, you can see a lot of things. And here is also a pot and it is made from calabash as well, and it is used for cooking. So if you look around here, basically, you find out that Igbo man has a very fantastic thing they used in living and in existence those days. Here is very fine, and you can't find what you see here in a lot of places. So like Igbos are very nice and fantastic person. And also here we have an obidi. This is ladder. This is a ladder. It is made from a palm fruit tree, a palm fruit stem. If you look at it very well, this is a wood, and it's really real Igbo in nature. And they are very fantastic. They are the things you can't see anywhere. And also here we have an belebe mine. It is used for collecting of palm wine. It is called a belebe mine. This is a fruit of a particular seed that grows. It's being farmed those days. It grows into this particular shape, and the inside are being scraped. And when you scrape it, you use it for the collection of palm wine. So when you go to the village square, you don't use normal plastic rubber. These are the things you use for palm wine. And also, I have an here. This is an now it is made from it is molded from clay. It is molded from clay and is used for water collection. So whatever you feel for this video, tell us in the comment section and tell us where you're watching from, and tell us how interesting and educative this video has been and what you've learned so far. So we will be waiting for your comment in the comment section. And also, if there's another thing you want us to explain to you about the traditions and cultures of Igbo that you don't know, because this page is basically for teaching people Igbo culture and tradition. Also, I guess we have a lot of things to show you as well. Please come. Here. Now, if you look at this thing, you might not really understand what it is. It is a seat. Let me show you. A seat. It is prepared basically for resting. For resting. Okay, and another one. Come. Yeah, this is an Ibolo. Ibolo is after molding a house. After molding a house, like if you look at this structure here, this is how the traditional Igbo man house is. And if you look at the inside, it has a skeleton. This skeleton is for holding it fast so that it doesn't collapse. Then after putting the skeleton, which is consisting of wood, then it is being covered with clay. You cover it with clay. And after covering with clay, you use this Ibolo. Ibolo is like a roof. It's like this modern days when you use 2x2s and rest of them to roof a house. Then this is what you use to cover the top of the house, and then use an akareka. So you use an akareka. Like I told you, akareka is made from raffia palm. You make use of an akareka. Show them the up. You make use of an akareka for real roofing. So if you look at here, you can see the Igbo laws. This thing is just roofing. But the Igbos always, before innovation came about, Igbo man already has a way of survival. If you look at here, These things are roots. It is traditionally made. And one sweet thing is that this whole thing has a long lifespan. Like the durability those days is very massive, and it was exceptional because if you look at the art and the detailing, it was very nice. So we'll be coming to the end of this video. So tell us in the comment section what you've learned so far, where you're watching from, and what you don't understand that we need to do a review about. Please tell us anything in the comment section, and tell us what you feel about Igbos.